embraced the lowest. That's why we're here today. Our teacher and way shower taught us about oneness. He's the model of it. He's the model of oneness. So let's hold that thought as we prepare for meditation. And just take a few moments and feel that oneness and that peace, the oneness that we are with the world, the universe, with each other in this place as we begin this meditation on this Easter Sunday morning. Was it a day just like today? Was it a day just like today? I suspect it was. So I invite you to focus on your breath and become still. Take a deep breath in and then fully release. Deep breath in and hold it at the top just for a second and then just release. And as you release, as you exhale, just feel your body fully relax, fully settled into the chair or the couch, or if you're sitting at home, wherever you are. Take a moment to just be. Take a few moments to just be on this Easter Sunday morning. Continue to find that place of normal breathing and return your awareness to that. If you're distracted or if you drift away in thought, just return to the breath. And let that breath heal your body, heal your mind right now as you breathe, as you're conscious of that breath, that life force that we get from the breath. Breathing in peace, breathing out peace, breathing in love, and breathing out love. And as you rest your body, just turn your awareness to any place that you may not be aware of in the moment of where you may be holding tension or anxiety or stress. And just breathe into that space, whether it's your shoulders. Relax your shoulders, relax your face, relax your forehead, and then just down in your whole torso and relax to your legs, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Feel that breath filling you with the life force, the energy that we gain from this awesome, awesome place that we are. We live in a sea of breath, and this sea is willing to give you all the breath that you need to sustain your life. So breathe deeply. And as we still the body, now you can still your mind. Just let the thoughts drift by. We're not trying to control them or stop them. Just let them drift by just for a few moments. And again, if you find yourself getting attached to a thought as it drifts by, just release and come back to the breath. And breathe. And now in your mind's eye and your imagination, using the faculty of your imagination, imagine that you're walking into this beautiful, beautiful garden. This garden is decorated by you in your mind right now. The flowers, the colors, the trees. Maybe it's full of dogwood trees that are blooming already, or just whatever your favorite flower is. Imagine that beauty as you walk in. See every color in the flowers, in the grass, in the trees. This spring season of rebirth, of coming alive, of rising up, is represented in this image in your mind of the beautiful garden that you're in. What else is in your garden? Is it birds? A water pond that you see that's so beautiful, reflecting the energy and the light of the sun, so golden? What is in your garden? What is in the beauty of your life right now? Maybe there's a small bench that you can sit. Still your body, still your mind, and just be in your garden. And there's no way around it in this moment. In this garden in your mind, you experience the awe and wonder of the divine that lives and moves and has being in you. And so now as we rest in this beauty that's in your mind with gratitude, we hold this in the silence for just a few moments to be grateful for this presence in this space. So rest in the silence for just a couple moments. Continue to breathe and just be in the silence. In the silence. As we breathe into this, still sitting in this beautiful garden, have this sense that you are surrounded by peace, immersed in peace, enmeshed in peace. There is nothing but peace. Peace, quiet, calm, undisturbed. Nothing but peace. And this is the beauty of the peace that we wish to take to the rest of the world. So as you become this peace, as you become this love, this is what we take out to the world. Now take a deep breath in. And you can get up from your bench in your beautiful garden if you're still there in your mind, and know that you can come back to it. You can bring someone with you, a teacher, Maybe it's Jesus. You can bring it. Jesus is your way shore. You can bring Jesus into your garden. You can bring a mentor, a parent, whoever is your teacher, bring to the garden and just be. But for now, I invite you to wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a deep breath in. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Continue to move your body to waking up to be fully present in this place. So again, happy Easter. So for 2,000 years or so, I guess, and I haven't been doing it. You may think I've been doing it that long because I'm old, but for 2,000 years, ministers and preachers and pastors and whatever the spiritual leaders have been looking for stories to share on Easter Sunday. And you would think that we'd run out of stories, right? Run out of, because we know the details. I mean, the details of Jesus, both his crucifixion on Friday and then resurrection on Easter Sunday. We know the details. We've studied them. As if you've been raised in a Christian church, we've looked at those. But what's changed? What changes every year from year to year about that? This story is about us, so what changes? We do. It's an evolving in consciousness for ourselves. So the reason we always got fodder for more talks is because we change. I change, you change. The story of the resurrection is the same except for how we incorporate it into our lives. So we're not quite finished, at least I'm not finished to share with you what we did on Good Friday. That was the crucifixion day. But we a few of us met here at the Good Friday Project and to hear about the last words of Jesus. And I want to start with the end. Surrender. Jesus on the cross said, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. That's in Luke 23:46. Surrender. So we start today, this Easter Sunday, with surrender. And before I go any further, I want to acknowledge that there are different accounts of the resurrection story. I'm not sure you're aware of that. Much like the narratives and stories and myths in the Bible and the Gospels, the details are difficult to flow because the details change from author to author. You know, in one story, the stone was rolled away by angels. Another one, it was an earthquake. I mean, that's just an example. But guess what? The details don't matter or should not matter. Marcus Borg, in his book, Reading the Bible Again for the First Time, Taking the Bible Seriously but Not Literally, says that we have a whole new way in this day and time to look at the Bible and at these stories. And even a way to do it without being a believer, a quote believer, which is an interesting thought. I won't go into the details of that. But in Unity and New Thought, we look at the Bible stories for underlying meaning and messages. But if you believe the gospel story of the resurrection is 100% factual, literal, welcome. Literally, welcome. The ideas we present in Unity can deepen your own personal conviction, no matter what you believe about it, no matter what I believe. We're all welcome here. We talk about oneness. This is it. We share those differences and we celebrate them. One of the things that's different about in Unity is the term salvation. In traditional Christianity, salvation, or Jesus' death and resurrection on the cross, death on the cross and resurrection, is about salvation. And we have a totally different view of that. We find the salvation by following the message of Jesus rather than the message about Jesus. So there's an analogy about this that I think I've heard for several years while I was back and forth in Unity Village. So this metaphor, this analog is perfect. Let's say you walk into a restaurant and you see on the restaurant they advertise that they've got a great way they prepare salmon, or whatever your favorite dish is if you don't like salmon, but this salmon is their specialty. So you're looking at the menu, your mouth starts watering. It's got a garlic, roasted garlic topping, maybe even some butter mixed in with the garlic, some French bread, fresh asparagus, steamed asparagus, a dish to die for, as we say. But when it's time to place your order, you don't order the salmon, but you start eating the menu. The message of Jesus versus the message out Jesus. So many people today are making Jesus their Savior and not allowing His teachings to lead them to their own salvation within. When it comes to Jesus, many people are eating the menu. Many people, you get the parallel in that. The teachings of Jesus offer us salvation from the belief that we are somehow separate from God, undeserving of love, or doomed to a life of pain and suffering. So the biggest difference between unity and traditional Christianity, not all believe this, is this concept that we're worthless. We're sinners. We're original sin. We were born into original sin, so we must be saved. I got tired over the years when I go back to my church of my origin, the Church of the Nazarene. The first thing that people would do is, well, "Are you saved?" And I would hem-haw and not know exactly what to say about that. It didn't take very long, very many years of being in unity. I'd say yes. I didn't have to explain it. I didn't have to proselytize what I believe versus what they believe. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. Hopefully we can have a dialogue and love each other, and we do that every day anyway. So we don't have to proselytize and try to change somebody's mind like, the fundamentalist evangelical Christians think that that's their job, and if that's what they want to do, we can't do anything about that. So back to surrender. Wow, really? Surrender? Surrender to what? That was Jesus' last word. Surrender to what? Surrender to your own knowing within. Jesus knew who He was. The Father and I are one, He says. Surrender happens in Jesus' resurrection, His awakening, and also ours. Surrender contains all support and guidance you need for the journey for your transformation, to know and remember to return to God, to return to your greatness that you already are and always have been. Forgiveness, transformation, rebirth. Birth, death, and resurrection is our own individual story. So this surrender that Jesus referred to on the cross, and what we say, is not a once and done deal. Not a once and done, if only it was. We have to surrender to this idea, to the ego mind keeping us, blocking us from God, from this separation, the divine, or whatever you choose to call it. Surrender is a process that is infinite. Infinite. We do it with our mindfulness every day. So nothing could be more evident of this surrender and it being a life journey than the 12-step programs, not just those in recovery from alcohol and drugs, any number of addictions. And Richard Rohr talks about particularly our own thinking. So he talks about, in his book, Breathing Underwater, Spirituality and the 12 Steps, looked at trapped individuals, but also points out similar parallels for institutionalized, and cultures and even nations need to be transformed and recovered, and it's all spiritual transformation. Jesus shows us the way, truly the way shower. So surrender has been an important part of my life, first with the 12-step group and then with unity. Serenity is beautiful, peaceful, and we remember when we surrender, what we're surrendering to is basically love. We're surrendering to the love that we are and the love that is in the world that we can see. I had a friend this week sent me an email just end of the week from Nashville, and he and I bantered back and forth, and just both of us, we were swapping stories about who we know about this shooting, the mass shooting that was in Nashville last week. We know families there. We knew the families had that knew the shooter. She was a young girl when my friend's daughter was at school there at Covenant Presbyterian School. Again, I think I already told you this, but I attended her wedding, this friend's daughter's wedding just 3 years ago there at this church. And we were talking about, my friend and I were talking, and he was sharing his connections. And then follow up with, no matter where you are in this, it's not a political thing, at least it's not from my heart. It's not talking about politics. Because he said this to me. He said, our friends, and he used our Republican friends is what he said, and I'm just repeating what he said. Our Republican friends, not a condemnation. This is what he said. He said, are too afraid of losing power, and that's why they're reacting the way they are. So it's so insightful. He says, what can I do? So I thought for a minute, and I said, well, here's what I do. Here's what I think we can all do. And that is to be the peace, be the love that we wish to see in them. So it starts there. It starts with us. He was on the way to his sister-in-law passed away. He called her the Mother Teresa of a Presbyterian Mother Teresa. Is what he called her. He was on to the service for her in Oklahoma today, and I'm sure he said it was going to be a hard thing, but they were going to sing songs and not have eulogies because everybody would be crying if they did. So, but Easter happens in you. It happens in me. This story of a birth, death, and resurrection, raising up in consciousness. Rise up. Love is alive. It's about you and it's about me. So the emphasis in unity, all the writers, Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, Myrtle Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, in all their writings, Eric Butterworth, on and on and on, I could go on, all talk about shifts happening in you. And Easter is a way we can celebrate that shift. Rise up in consciousness. Remember who you truly are. So embracing that which is a higher nature, all the transformation that we talk about happens within first. Go within, it happens within. So as we look at Easter, we align historical events that took place and what they mean to us today. And it must have been a day like today, relevance in this day, and then this time for all of us. So the early Christian writers and teachers, like Paul said, the secret which has been hidden for generations, Christ in you, your hope and glory. That's up today. That's, rise up. Christ in you, your hope and glory. If you get hung up on this word Christ, there's a lot of different words you can use. The universal Christ, breath, universe, Buddha nature. It's the same for every religion, every philosophy. It's this power, this essence, this love that we have inside of us. Rise up today. So Easter is about the resurrection of that Christ Spirit, and I'm going to keep using the word Christ Spirit for us. It's within you and me. The teachings of Charles Fillmore, Eric Butterworth, and other New Thought teachers confirm this idea, the celebration of not just the individual resurrection of Jesus, but also the universal resurrecting Spirit that dwells in all of us. Surrender. Back to that. What a powerful word. It has been with us all along, and this is the truth of who and you and I are. This is the truth of who we are. So the Hindus put it this way. They say the light you are seeking is your own lantern. The light you are seeking is your own lantern. So it's always referring to that light within us. The Christ consciousness, the light is always there. Some historians claim Easter comes from a pagan concept, or from the goddess of fertility and spring. Part of the reason why we have so many Easter bunnies at um, and birds, talking about the birds. I don't know if you had any Easter bunnies or rabbits in your the garden that I sent you to this morning in your imagination. The bunny decorated her eggs to show her appreciation for what the pagan goddess of fertility and spring did. So the central message of Easter, Resurrecting Easter by John Dominic Crossan, is that Western Christianity came to see resurrection as resurrection of just one person, Jesus of Nazareth. So that's what happened to Western Christianity. This week, I'll probably share it after the talk this week. There's a short video, 10-minute video, that goes through all the discussions about the denomination and maybe the beliefs of where we are today with all denominations of the Christian journey. And we're not the same. There's so many variations of what people believe about the resurrection, about baptism, just on and on and on. There's not a common Christianity per se. But if there's things that bring you comfort, bring you peace, let you rise up, that's what you hold on to while you're keeping an open mind and looking at other avenues too. So what we gain from all these narratives and experiences of the people living in the times of Jesus and spiritual experiences within us, that's what we look at. Is what were they? The Gospels are trying to relate to the experience of Jesus, and the Western Christianity is focused too much on the details, trying to use it as a history book, and it's not. The Bible is not a history book. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, said in his metaphysical teachings, Jesus Christ Heals, that's my favorite book of Charles Fillmore, says the fundamental spiritual work to which we are called is in our mind. Like Melissa read from our reading today, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Jesus said, I am the light of the world, and you also are the light of the world. You remember how he said that? Greater things shall you do that I do. You're a light. You're a light into this world. The only thing we have to do is not to hide it. Don't hide your light. Don't hide it. So as Jesus was talking about his departure from this world in John, see, this was no secret. So again, I talked last week about the apostles not really understanding Jesus sometimes, where he told them this was coming. You know, all this was happening. I'm going away. I'm going away. But they didn't get it. They didn't get it until it happened. So, I will not leave you desolate, Jesus said. I will come to you again, yet while and the world will see me no more. The world will see me no more. Because I live, you live also. Wow. In that day, you will know that I am in my Father, and me in you, and you in me. So my journey has been one of totally rejecting the church for years. Not just the church. I still don't appreciate most of or follow most of what the Church of the Nazarene teaches where I grew up. But I've told you before, it put a quest to know God. It put a quest in me to know God. And Unity gave me my voice. So we can take anything that's given to us. Anything. May take some time. That didn't happen overnight. May take some time, but yet we can rise up to that consciousness that we already are, that's there. That unfortunately some religions have taught us to bury it rather than celebrate this light that we are. So in closing, we'll have to skip a few pages and continue it after the talk on Wednesday. Jesus was always pushing the envelope, not afraid of anything, pain or death or people's opinion. Audacious is one term we can use for Jesus. Paul said it this way: this mind in you that is Christ Jesus, this spirit in you. Now again, Christ is not Jesus' last name for sure. So, but do you have the audacity to believe that you could have the mind and the spirit of the Christ in you? Do you believe that? Then you are moving in the right directions to know that Easter can happen in you and is happening in you. Easter is about raising that recognition in you, filling the presence, not just the words, not my words or what, as I said, what ministers have been trying to say for 2,000 years. It's filling the presence, not just reacting to the words. It might just be a small seed in you, and then you can allow it to grow. So rise up. Rise up today. I encourage you to rise up. Rise up to your own truth, your own consciousness. Jesus is the way shower. So my journey, I was telling you about my journey, was to totally throw away the Bible and anything to do with religion until I found that there was a difference in between religion and spirituality. And now I can embrace part of the Bible, if even for the stories, not for the details. Some of thinking that we can get details out of it from 2,000 years ago but people like John Shelby Spong, Marcus Borg, Bart Ehrman, all are teachers of the Bible and the way we can use it today in our lives today. So now, as you surrender to that still small voice in you, you shall see love that has no conditions, no conditions. And you will see joy that has no bounds. You shall see peace that is beyond understanding. You shall see the kingdom of God right now. Right now. This is the will of God for you. The living, risen Christ is within me and you. Rise up. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Ron. Wonderful Easter message for all of us from the heart. It was. Thank you. So, every morning can be Easter morning from now on. We're going to end our service today like we normally do. We're going to arrange ourselves in a big circle here. I'm just trying to think if we can make it around all these chairs. Let's try it and see if we can do that. And we'll sing our peace song, and then we'll do our prayer for protection.